We have some COVID-19 data sets within our Tableau, and we can validate these fields by looking in the data section below. Now, within the data section, we can tell that we have 9 columns and over 250,000 rows. Now, what we want to do for this is to visually understand the trend or the cumulative trend of the growth of the COVID-19 data geographically. So in order for us to establish that, let's go into, or let's create a new sheet right at the bottom section here. I'm going to select sheet 1. And now, first of all, I want to view all the countries geographically. So I'm going to double click on country/region right here. Now you can see that all the columns that we have been put here. We have some generated columns, which is latitude and longitude. We have the unique ID number, the number of recovered, number of death, number of confirmed. We have the observation date, which was when this was observed, and we have the last updated, meaning when the file was updated. So first of all, I want to view the map geographically. So I'm going to select, double click on country and region, and that's automatically going to create a map for me. Lovely. Next, what I want to do now is I want to color the confirmed cases by color. So when I drag confirmed cases into the color, we can see that the color changes. We get a legend which helps us to understand the color depiction, meaning that starting from 1 are least confirmed cases to where we have close to 2 billion cases being in the red section. So if we should exit and zoom out, we can see that we have some hot spots on the map. Now, we can also see that we have some unknown right at the bottom here. This means that it can't understand where these countries are coming from. If we want to change this, we can kindly double click on that, click on edit locations, and then click on the locations that you can recognize. One I can recognize as China, then Ireland, and I'm going to leave the rest as they are by default and select OK. So we can see China has popped in. Now the next thing I want to do now is I want to label these countries. I want to know what these countries are. So I'm dragging country/region into the label section so that I can get the labels of all the countries and their confirmed cases. Now the next thing I want to do here is that I want to create a snapshot which will give us a progression month by month of the observation dates to see the cumulative aspects geographically for the number of COVID-19 cases. So in order to create a snapshot of the months, I'm going to drag observation date into pages. Dragging observation date into pages. Now, when we do that, it's going to create an interactive slider for us or the user to be able to look at the trends geographically. Now, it's currently in years. I want to convert the number of observation to months so that we can see the month-to-month progression. So I go to the pages, and where we have the observation over the year, I click on the drop down and I look for months. Now, after selecting months, first of all, let's remove the heat map because we don't need it again. Hide the card. Now, when we zoom in, we can see that we have a monthly observation starting from January. When we select the drop down, it tells us it's giving it for the whole year. So we can zoom out, and using the arrow keys, I'm going to move from January to December, and let's see how the map is being affected by the snapshots that we are creating. Let's get started. So in January, this was what we had. Now in February, you can see how the map color changes as I move from month to month, and when some of the regions start recording their cases, and when some of the cases start becoming intensive. We can see US and Brazil are getting deeper in color. We can see some parts of Russia there as well. We have Italy, we have Canada and US also growing in color. And we can see as we move on to September, we can see that US, Brazil, Bangladesh, and some parts of Canada and US seem to get more red as we move on. So as we move towards October, you could see that there were more high cases or more observation or confirmed cases from these countries compared to the other countries. And as we move on to December, we can see the countries that hit the 2 billion mark, which is US and some parts of US again. We can also go back in time to see how this process can be done in reverse order and see how the colors affect the recordings for each of the months. All right. So with just a simple map and a snapshot of the months, we've been able to geographically see the progression of COVID-19 cases across the different countries and regions. Are you prepared to elevate your dashboarding skills? Tap the link beneath to secure your spot. And I'm eagerly looking forward to greeting you into Azubi Africa's Data Analytics program. Seize this chance to amplify your skills. Don't let it slip away.